Rewild Ranch outside Alberton has transformed a gravel pit into a whole lot more. Not a lot of people would look at this property and say, hey, we should totally make that a farm. It's been quite an undertaking.
Now, it looks pretty idyllic, but when Jill Demers and Jay Garland bought the ranch,
we had a caved-in trailer house, about 7 abandoned vehicles up in the pasture,
refrigerators in the driveway,
mattresses, an entire shed full of old paint cans, a dead deer floating in the septic tank.
They'd been living next door in a VW van and then a house they built when their neighbors looked to sell the 58 acres.
I knew we just had to do this. So that was more relentlessness and grit than it was fortune.
Now they've got a small regenerative farm up and running.
We're using goats, livestock guardian dogs to help kind of mitigate weeds, but also restore the soil.
The couple are first-time farmers.
42-year-old first-generation farmers is not sexy, and it's not well-funded.
And they had a hard time breaking in.
We could not get traditional funding. It was kind of a nightmare, and we literally almost had to sell the place as a result, so we got creative.
And that led them to agritourism.
Agriculture and the idea of a homestead life is having a moment.
This summer, they're opening up an eco-lodge to host up to 12 people. They were fine-tuning it when I caught up with them 2 weeks ago. Demers is a nutrition therapist and plans to host classes and, eventually, community events.
We just have always had this vision of having a farm, not necessarily to sell food for money, but for me more from an educational perspective, because I really see food as our deepest connection to nature on a daily basis.
And they hope their approach could help inspire others well past their property line.
I believe that this can create a new narrative with a new economy that will actually infuse enough money into our small farms in the state of Montana so that we can actually invest and make them profitable and keep Montana's farmlands in Montanans' hands.
The couple is always looking ahead, but sometimes they stop to look back at the gravel pit across the road and think of where it started.
It's sort of if like a private project could be a Superfund site, maybe it would be or would have been, but we've really taken it and made it what we think is really beautiful and inviting, and we're really excited to open it to the community.
In Alberton, Caroline Weiss, MTN News.
A ranching operation just south of Big Sandy is marking a milestone. Organic ranching expert Bob Quinn opened the Quinn Institute in hopes of helping people build health and prosperity through regenerative organic agriculture. MTN's Owen Skornick-Hayes attended a field day a year after the Institute opened.
Harboring the medicinal power of food. That's the mission of the Quinn Institute. It's been 1 year since the Institute had its ribbon cutting on the outside of Big Sandy, and every day since, that reality has become more and more feasible.
1, 2, 3, snip.
365 days ago, the cutting of that ribbon ushered in a new focus on local regenerative agriculture.
No, it feels like it's been 10 years and 6 weeks at the same time.
For the 1-year anniversary, Bob Quinn held his second annual Field Day, an interactive discussion-based symposium for farmers to share ideas. Quinn says he focuses on creating nutrient-dense food to aid in the fight against chronic conditions.
I think this is the future. The way we're going now is no future. I mean, the farmers are going broke all over. 75% of my neighbors are gone from when I was in high school.
By partnering with local producers, it doubles as a way to keep dollars local.
We want to revitalize rural America and communities. We want to help people grow their own food regionally, be self-sufficient regionally.
Rural communities in food deserts are often forced to buy cheap food alternatives, something that's dismayed Josh Poole, a research coordinator at the Quinn Institute.
A lot of it is, ultra-processed stuff, very low nutrient density.
He and the team say they're working on development of a hard white winter wheat for local bread bakers.
It's going to be more nutritious and more digestible, much like kamut, the ancient grain.
Another of the Institute's first-year ventures include investing and repurposing its own safflower oil.
We sold that to the universities and then reclaimed the oil and cleaned it and used it in tractors.
And it's only the tip of the iceberg. Managing perennial weeds is another priority of Quinn.
We grow legumes to fertilize and nourish the soil. And different crop rotations help break up disease cycles, insect cycles.
Fighting for a healthy future for rural communities, both literally and financially, keeping processing dollars from exiting.
I don't think these communities should be getting the short end of the stick like they have been historically.
From Big Sandy, Owen Skornick-Hayes, MTN News.